Today we're going to talk about gratitude. In everyday life, I always say thank you to this woman here, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Luke 17:11-19 tells us a story about the 10 lepers who were healed by Jesus. And one of them, realizing that he had been healed, returned, glorifying God in a loud voice, and he fell at the feet of Jesus and thanked him. He was a Samaritan, he was a foreigner. Jesus said in reply, "Stand up and go. Your faith has saved you." The practice of regular meditation has a significant neurological effect. There are 5 areas of the brain that is usually affected or enhanced when you meditate. Number 1, the medial prefrontal cortex, which is involved in higher executive function or decision making, your moral judgment, your planning, your intellectual capacity to execute the information that's put in your brain. There's a long-term emotional stability such that when there is stress around you, you will be able to think wisely whether what to act and how to react rather than be reactive all the time. The anterior cingulate cortex is linked to social bonding and reward system. When you meditate, and even when you just say thank you every day, this is activated. So the more you activate this anterior cingulate cortex and the reward system, you'll be more motivated to say thank you. So it becomes a habit. The habit gives you positive benefits and regular reinforcement of the brain to do more positive things. A study in 2015 in a functional MRI study showed that people who practiced gratitude showed lasting changes in the medial prefrontal cortex, even weeks after the exercise of giving regular saying thank you or the simple gratitude. The reward system, the dopamine surges. Nowadays, we depend on sugar and some novelty stimulus to increase your dopamine, like opioid, social media like, or gambling, for example, or even opioids and nicotine. We don't need those. We don't need sugar especially. We need just to say thank you every day and thank God. It reduces the stress level, meaning it decreases the cortisol level, and gratitude reduces the activity of the amygdala, which is the center for anxiety, depression, and anger. The chronic stress activates the hypothalamic pituitary axis. That increases your cortisol. As a consequence, it increases your sugar. The sugar also stimulates the sympathetic tone, which is the fight-flight, and essentially associated with the amygdala, which is the center for anxiety, depression, and anger. So you will feel bad. Regular gratitude actions, it improves your heart rate variability. Heart rate variability is an indirect measure of the parasympathetic tone, your baseline tone where you're relaxing, resting, and digesting. When your heart rate variability is increased, this is associated with parasympathetic tone, the ventral vagus branch of the vagus nerve, according to the polyvagal theory of Porges. What happens when you have stress? There is an input to the amygdala. The amygdala rattles like a smoke detector. There's fire, there's fire. But then, if your vagus nerve of your ventral vagus nerve is toned, this will not give chance to the amygdala to rattle. Because it's toned, it would just say, "Listen, pal, there's no fire. It's just a burned steak." So this is how you would condition yourself, because stress will always be there. And by saying gratitude, you can increase or improve your heart rate variability, just like when you meditate, especially the unconditional love meditation of Christ's Passion. Study shows in the Heart Math Institute has published findings that showing gratitude increases heart rate variability. It improves emotional regulation and resilience. Briefly, what is heart rate variability? It is the variation of your heart rate in relation to your respiration. When you inhale, your heart rate increases. When you exhale, your heart rate decreases, and that's when your brain and your gut also is relaxed. So we make a cycle and profoundly think about the breathing. You are to breathe 4, hold, and exhale 8 counts. The longer you prolong your exhalation, the better, because remember, that is when your heart rate is decreased. So when there is variation of your heart rate, increasing when you inhale and decreasing when you're exhaling, The variation in milliseconds determines your heart rate variability. And if you can take notice, are you breathing profoundly and slow? Most likely we are not. And that's why your heart rate variability, there's none, there's no variation. And that is associated with lack of toning of your ventral vagus nerve, which is responsible for the tone of the autonomic nervous system that makes you survive and relax. Neuroplasticity and positive feedback loops are also activated when you just say simple thank you, the habit of gratitude, and meditation of the unconditional love of Christ through his passion for us. Gratitude strengthens the positive neural pathways and weakens negative ones through repeated activation. This enhances neuroplasticity, aka enlargement of that area of the brain. Before, we thought that brain will not grow. Backed by functional MRI, where they put a dye and follow the circulation on where the area of the brain is activated, is showing that gratitude journaling or writing letters has been shown to change the EEG patterns or the electroencephalogram patterns and increase gray matter volume in areas related to perspective thinking and empathy. So you will have more empathic heart and you'll be more concerned about others. You'll be more sensitive to the actions of others and react appropriately in a positive way. Let's kill them with kindness by saying gratitude. Saint Therese of the Child Jesus would thank any insignificant things that she would do. She would stare at the Blessed Sacrament and just say thank you. He said, how do you pray? I just stare at Jesus as if like we're friends. We don't even speak. I don't even speak. The most important practical thing when you do gratitude is that you have better sleep and lower inflammation. Gratitude helps with sleep onset and quality, and it likely through its effects of cortisol, serotonin, which helps you feel good, and the happy pill is serotonin, and melatonin, which induces health. You don't need to pop like melatonin supplements. In a study in 2009 in Journal of Psychosomatic Research, found that gratitude correlates with better sleep, quality, and duration. Practical things, what are you talking about gratitude? Just simple saying, oh, thank you very much for the cookies that you bake. Thank you for the food that you prepare. Thank you for the house. Thank you for the mortgage that I have to pay for the house and on these things. Thank your friend. Thank you for the friendship that you have, because not many have good friends. Thank you for the moment that you spend with me playing tennis or even just talking. Even deep conversation with a friend, even hugging will increase these or activate these areas of the brain that has lasting positive impact in your life. Today, the 10 lepers were healed. Only one, the foreigner, the Samaritan, came back and was acknowledged by Jesus. Where are the rest? Didn't even say thank you. The Eucharist is the best gift of Jesus. Before you were born, or before he was born, after the fall of Adam and Eve, there was a reflection of a great saint saying that in the heavens, the Son and God, the Son and the Son and the Father had a discussion because they were so devastated. What will happen to humankind? They will be damned forever. So we need to save them. They decide to create a woman conceived without original sin in the womb of Saint Anne, through the union of Saint Anne and Saint Joachim, the Virgin Mary. The Immaculate Conception, December 8. And she was born on September 8, the feast of the Nativity of the Virgin Mary. This was to prepare the vessel of honor, the vessel this is the cradle of something really special. The vessel is the womb where the Jesus Christ is going to stay for 9 months and to become a human being, to be able to unite with us and feel the suffering of humankind. So this is something that we have to thank even before the Nativity, the feast of the Immaculate Conception and her Nativity. She was recruited, the Virgin Mary was. That's why she is so united with the Passion of Jesus. And it's worth meditating on the Passion of Christ through the lens of the Mother, because the 7 sorrows of the Virgin Mary, as revealed to Saint Bridget of Sweden, not only gives promises of many different things, maybe your Mercedes-Benz or your whatever you want, but The promise was to give you anything that is not harmful for your soul. God is expecting you to say thank you to Him every day, every minute. Through His passion, we meditate because He resurrected and left us with the living bread, the Eucharist. What is Eucharist? Eucharist is a Greek word that comes from the word Eucharistia, meaning thanksgiving or gratitude. So when you go to Mass, you are essentially giving thanks to heavens for giving us the unconditional love of Jesus through His passion and leaving us the Eucharist. When you go to adoration, which is very much pleasing to the heavens, you're essentially thanking Him every day. For 30 minutes, twice a day, highly recommended. It heals your soul. Trust me, I've experienced it. Remember, our praises doesn't add nothing to His greatness. Nothing, really. All He wants is to say thank you. In Ensino Jesu, Jesus revealed to this monk, who apparently is still alive, emphasizing the need for the priests to say thank you by adoring Him in adoration. Turns out not many priests are adoring Jesus. And that is the reason why many of the followers, the Christians, the Catholics, probably are not in tune with the adoration or the devotion to adoration. Knock at the door of the parish rectory. Ask them to have adoration chapel in your parishes. And when there is any, adore Him, because that's the only way you can thank Jesus. You can thank Him in the corners, but He is there, real, in the living bread, in the Eucharist. So gratitude, the simple things of saying thank you, has a profound effect on your health, and it has a profound effect on your soul. The unconditional love meditation of Jesus through His passion cannot be ignored. Make it a daily habit, twice a day. Saint Josemaria Escrivá would say, if you want to know Jesus more, you need to know His passion. Visit the Blessed Sacrament as often as you can. Find a place where it's conducive, like Ave Maria, Florida, or somewhere, because it is in Jesus that you really would find healing and peace. If you like this video, please like, make a comment, let's discuss, spread it, share it to your friends. They might need it. And follow me. Thank you.